back to my channel. This is T. In this video, I'm going to talk about how the game stalker doesn't want to walk away. So you may be wondering why a game stalker seems to take vacations, be gone from your environment for some time, and then all of a sudden come back. Well, one of the reasons for that is because the whole goal of the game stalker was to try to convince people that you deserve what you're getting. And we know that's not true. But that is the ultimate goal. And if the game stalker doesn't go back and game stalk that person some more, then how can people believe that the person being game stalked deserves what they're getting? And so when the game stalker does not go back to game stalk that person, then people will start looking at the game stalker and saying, so you did all of this for what? How could you do all of these things? It's not justified. So when a game stalker goes back to game stalking the person, when it's been so many years, or this situation has been going on for so long, and like I said, there's gaps in between the periods that the person is game stalking an individual, it's because the person does not want to let go of the lie. Because for some reason, or for many reasons, the game stalker feels that there's too much to lose. And when I say that, I mean that they'll lose their reputation, they'll lose the ability to get what they want from the individual that they're game stalking. And it will make it difficult for them to do this again to another person. So the game stalker, for some reason, in their mind, thinks that this is the way to go. To just keep going. Even if you have to take a break, just, you know, go ahead, go shopping, go to the grocery store, and then go back to game stalking the person. Go on vacation for 2 weeks and then go back to game stalking the person. Like, there's no end date. And there's no end date for the reasons that I discussed previously. And so, this is the reason why people who are game stalked suffer so much, suffer severely, suffer in a way that um, makes them question life. Like, how is this logical? How is this fair? How come no one is noticing this? How come people are seeing someone do this and not make sense of it? Well, it's because the person goes back. And it's because some people refuse to believe that this game stalker is a liar and isn't honest. And maybe they have a vested interest in the game stalker. Maybe there's something that they know they can gain if the game stalker is able to fulfill the ultimate goal, which is to destroy a person or destroy a person's life. Because if you're being game stalked and it's going on for a long period of time, it only makes sense for you to want to leave that environment. But when you leave that environment, you could be leaving your family, you could be leaving your home, you could be leaving a lot of things. And where you're going, you may not have resources, you may not have access to things that help you sustain yourself. I'm not saying that you shouldn't leave a situation where you're being game stalked. I'm just pointing out why people don't leave those situations. I think that you should leave a situation where you're unsafe. And so, unfortunately, people can end up homeless because of someone's inability to know when to let something go. There comes a point in time where people will eventually see who is honest and who is not honest. And unfortunately, the stalker has concocted some sort of weird, um, strange way to justify continuing to go. And it's best for the gang stalker to just cut their losses and walk away. Because the more you go down the rabbit hole, the farther you go down, the harder it is to come out, the more you get stuck. And that's the thing with this lie, because it's a lie, is that many things can go from bad to worse when gang stalkers do not know when to walk away. It's like playing a game, you have the side that, you have two sides, because you have the side that wants to win, and then you have the side that will obviously lose, because in order to play a game and have one winner, or a group of winners, everyone cannot win, right? So this is a situation, this game stalking situation is a situation you can compare to people playing a game. Someone has to lose, and a game stalker cannot decide that they want to win at all costs, whatever it takes, and then want the respect of people. Like, you cannot have both. You're either going to win at all costs, risk everything, which means risking the respect of the people, or you're going to walk away, know that it didn't work out, and just gather yourself together and just let it go. It is what it is. You played the game how you played. You didn't win, so it's time for you to let this situation go, because there's there's just sometimes, there's certain situations to where you can't win. An example of this is when you keep going and you keep losing, and then you finally, sometimes unfortunately you get to as a game stalker, you get to a point to where you just become so illogical and so desperate to win that you do everything and anything, and you end up losing anyway, because by doing all of these, you know, nonsensical things, you're just losing. You're losing in a way that you don't have to. Because when you play a game, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose, and that's just the way it goes. It's just it's life. Because would you want to lose because someone's cheating every time they play a game with you? Like, what would be the point in playing the game if every time you play the game with someone, they make it so that they win every single time, right? So, game stalkers, unfortunately, can go into like this dark, dark place to where they don't want to lose so much so that they make sure that you can't win. So they keep going no matter how long it takes. And that's why people are game stalked for so many years. And they may not even realize why. Because, most logical thinking people will, they'll say, hey, this is going on for so too long. I'm just going to move on, right? Or they won, I lost. It is what it is. It's not worth all this. But some of these game stalkers, they will not lose. They do not care who goes down with them. They do not care. Sometimes they don't even care what happens to them. They just they have this thirst for winning. It has to happen. That's how they see it. Like, there's just no way I can lose, even if it means total destruction. Right? I have to win. That's how they feel. That's what they say to themselves. Whenever they do what they're doing, they just keep going and going and going. So if the game stalker is able to detach themselves from this type of thinking, then the gang stalking will end. It will cease. But when they can't, maybe because they have a lot of people supporting them and doing this, they will continue and continue and continue and continue. And so, if you're being gang stalked, the best thing you can do is a lot of self care. Obviously, reach out to people who can help you or support you, the proper authorities, and try your best to move on with your life because it's obvious that this gang stalker or stalkers don't know how to move on. But you, as a person that's being gang stalked, has to know how to move on because after some point in time, unhealthy attachments start occurring and dependency. And what happens if, um, for some reason you end up having to interact with the gang stalker or gang stalkers and it doesn't go well? Well, you got to understand that the gang stalker or stalkers have invested so much of their time in you that this can make them really spiral out of control. But, these people or this individual, the gang stalker or stalkers, need to not be codependent. They need to move on and learn how to develop healthy ways of living outside of other people. That's one of the big parts to this whole thing is that obviously they don't know how to be independent in the way that they operate with people. So I'm going to end this video by saying if you are being gang stalked, just understand that it's very complex and more than likely you're the logical person. So just continue to do your best to be the logical person because more than likely that's what's going to help the situation to go away or to end. And just do whatever you need to do to keep yourself going, to keep yourself healthy in your thinking. And you know, there's meditation, there's crystals. Obviously, self love makes a big difference. Tell yourself every day that you love yourself and that you don't deserve what's happening because you never know what tomorrow brings. There's always a possibility for good things to occur. And so, with this crystal that I have here is a tiger's eye crystal, and it can help you with confidence, strength, and courage. Those are the things that you will need to get through this trying time. But hang in there and take care.